Down 15,000 in Las Vegas after busting out of the main event and taking a massive hit in a Bellagio cash game, I needed to stop the bleeding. What better way to do that than jump straight into one of the wildest games I've ever played on this channel. This is $10,000 and this is the craziest game happening in Las Vegas right now. High stakes Hustler Casino Live regulars like Brittany, Ryan Feldman, Nick Airball, and Rampage invited me over to the Venetian to put $10,000 on the line, giving me a real shot to erase the entire trip's losses in a single night. These players do not need an introduction. Let's get right into the hands. Let's go. We're playing 100-100 with a $100 big blind ante, and Jeff the Cash opens it up to $400 in the very first hand. I find myself in the big blind with ace-10 of spades and decide just to put in the call for $300 more. We're taking a flop which comes 7-6 deuce, 2 diamonds, and 1 spade. I check it over to Jeff and he fires out for $400 once again. I think this is a pretty easy call. I have 2 overcards, a backdoor flush draw, and I put in the $400 and pick up the 5 of clubs on the turn. I check it over to Jeff once again, and now he fires out for $1,300. At this point, the hand is probably done, but I didn't get invited to this game to just fold ace high, so I count out my stack to see exactly how much I have before making a very light call. Yes, I float Jeff on the turn with ace-10 of spades. Why? Because of course the river comes the 10 of diamonds. Dream spot for us. I check it over to Jeff once again. I think we could also lead here and try to get value from some ace highs and worse pocket pairs like 8s or 9s, but the action goes check check. I turn over my ace 10 and he mucks his cards face down. Probably a hand like ace king, king queen, ace queen. Well, that's exactly how we drew it up. Win a few $1,000s in the very first hand and alleviate some of the nerves. All right, we're up around $1,000, cruising so far. I look down at ace king of clubs. I'm feeling great and I make it $400. The button and the small blind, Rampage and Brittany put in the call. Nick Airblind's in the big blind, and it's not often he just completes, but that's what he does here. Decides not to put any more chips in the middle. Obviously, I'm going for a 4-bet if he decides to do so, but let's take a flop 4 ways. It comes ace queen 10, 2 diamonds, 1 club. Obviously I have top pair, top kicker. I have a gut shot to Broadway. Any jack would give me that. And I have a backdoor flush and royal straight flush draw. That was a mouthful. Brittany and Nick Airball put in the call. Suddenly we're off to the turn in a 4K pot, and it comes the 5 of hearts. So why wouldn't he just check it over to me? Well, because he's Nick Airball, and anytime you're playing with a legend like him, he's gonna put you to the test, put more chips in the middle, and that's exactly what he does. I have an ace.
Okay, what's you?
I go once usually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ace is no good.
2 pair.
Oh my god.
Defense! Defense! Brittany yells 2 pair. Nick says, oh my god, I turn over the ace king for Broadway on the river. Yes, you guys, we are taking in this $24,400 pot. On the turn, I only had a 27% chance to win it, but that's the way poker goes sometimes. And queen 5 down in flames. Shout out to Nick for playing that one all the way to the river. Up around $10,000 and feeling pretty great. The $200 straddle is out there and I decide to call. A bunch of other players do as well, so we are going off to a flop which comes 3-3 deuce, giving me an overpair. I check it over to the cutoff, Ethan, who fires out for $500. Nobody else seems to be interested in this hand. I'm the only one to put in the call with my overpair and backdoor straight draw. The turn comes an overcard, of course it does, because I have pocket 5s. Basically every card in the deck would be one, and the jack of spades peels off and I check it over to Ethan once again. I think he's going to have a lot of bluffs in his range here when he fires out for $1,600. I have pocket 5s. That has some showdown value. I put in the call. Enough said there. The river now comes the 3 of spades, giving me a full house. With $5,300 in the middle, I check it over to Ethan, hoping he checks behind with ace king, king queen, something like that. But he doesn't. Instead, he jams all in. It's an overbet shove for $6,200 into the $5,300 pot. It'll be $6,200 for me to win a pot of around $18,000, so getting around 3-1 on my money. Well, there isn't a missed flush draw, but I still think Ethan is capable of bluffing here, and I really just don't want to be shown the bluff in front of all of these legends of the poker game, so I decided to put in the call here. I'm up a little bit of money. I'm playing with house money per se. I find the call, and Ethan turns over Jack King off. Yes, he was jacking off against us, and he got there. He's taking down an 18K pot, and just like that, my stack has dwindled down past the $10,000 buy-in. I'm in the big blind with king queen offsuit, and Ethan raises it up to $2,000 with no straddles out there. This is probably a great time to tell you guys that we are playing the button game. So those little snowman in front of Ethan, well, if he wins 3 hands in a row, he gets $1,000 from every player at the table, and it's a huge incentive for him to play loose and raise massive like he just did here. Well, Jack realizes this, and he makes it $7,000 to go. Action's on me in the big blind with king queen offsuit, and Ethan probably doesn't have a good hand because he's trying to win the 3rd button, and Jack knows that, so I don't necessarily give Jack the most amount of credit for having a really good hand. Let's just think about it as a very light 3-bet, so I'm gonna 4-bet shove my entire stack in the middle here with king queen offsuit and hope for a triple up. And Ethan turns over 4-3 offsuit, and Jack has pocket aces. He's gonna take it down on both boards, and remember I said we shouldn't give him too much credit? Well, I guess sometimes Jack is gonna wake up with the nuts. Pocket aces, $26,000, and just like that, I have to reach back into my bag and rebuy for $13,000. I'm in for 23 grand. All right, let's get to work here. I pick up the ladies in a great spot. I'm in the $200 straddle. The low jack limps, the hijack makes it $1,000, and Ryan Feldman, the founder of Hustler Casino Live, he puts in the call. Action's back over to me in the straddle dream spot. I've said that already. We make it $4,200. We lose every other player at the table, but look at that. Ryan has a button in front of him, so I don't expect him to fold. And he doesn't. He tosses in the 4.2K. We're playing a $9,700 pot. Off to a flop we go. Heads up, in position on Ryan, which comes 5 deuce deuce. I'm in position on him. I have a premium hand, so when he checks it over to me, I decide to bet very small for $1,500. You might be wondering, why did you go so small? Well, I'm trying to keep in hands like 7-8, 9-10, Jack 10 suited, those types of things, but it appears he doesn't want to play for even $1,500 more dollars. He folds his cards, and even though it's not the biggest pot in the world, still, my stack is up to around $17,000 now, so I'm going in the right direction. And that's what we need because we're in for $23,000.
To clarify, that pot was $20,000 and no one gives a
My life is sick. I gamble every day. Follow me. Love you.
We're at the $200 straddles out there, and there's a bunch of limps over to Ryan. Why? Well, because he has 2 buttons, so if he gets one more of those, he's gonna win $1,000 from everyone at the table. We all know what he's gonna do, and he does it. He raises large, this time to $4,000, hoping no one has a good hand. Well, I have my favorite hand, pocket sevens, and if you know anything about me, I very rarely let it go pre-flop, and let's make this exhibit A of how much I love this hand. I shove all in for $17,400. The good news is, that's a lot of money, so hopefully Ryan just folds, he gets rid of the buttons, and we win the pot and his $4,000 in the process. The bad news is, everybody else folds around to Ryan, so I'm going heads up with him. If I somehow lose this hand, not only will I owe him $1,000 extra because he'll have 3 buttons, everyone at the table will as well. We're gonna go to a run out in a nearly $36,000 pot. I say one time. There's a few overcards to my sevens. I turn them over only for him to turn over ace queen offsuit. What a bummer. Pocket sevens let me down. I'm losing a $36,000 pot. I'm stuck 23 grand on the session, and it gets worse because after I rebuy for another $10,000, I owe Ryan $1,000 for the bounty. All right, in for 33 grand now, and I mean it this time, it's time to get to work. $200 straddles out there. Nick Airball makes it $2,000 to go. The cutoff calls, and I look down at King Queen offsuit. I already won in once with King Queen and got screwed by Jack's aces. Surely second time is the charm. Brittany comes out of nowhere and shoves her stack in the middle. Nick takes his opportunity to go all in, and we lose Jack on our right. He finds the fold. We are going off to a run out 3 ways versus Brittany and Nick.
Okay, you're once, right?
Yeah. We run it once knowing nothing about our opponent's hands, and the flop comes Queen 4-3 with 2 spades, giving me top pair. The turn comes the 6 of hearts, and the river comes the 7 of clubs. Nick says no pair. I turn over my king queen knowing I have at least him beat, and Brittany looks confused but ends up mucking her cards, you guys. An over $31,000 pot is finally coming my way, and I end up cracking ace king offsuit from Nick Airball with that lovely queen on the flop. I'm 1 for 2 with these king queen offsuits, but $32,000 is nearly everything that I've bought in for. I'm only stuck $1,000 on the session now.
I actually got so nervous when I was down. I shouldn't even say this. I went to the bathroom. I took a shit. Not that like I was down that much. I can't afford it or like my life's gonna change. But like I'm like we might lose 100 grand tonight if I'm already down 25 in the first hour.
In this next hand, we limp in on the button with 2/5 of a royal flush, ace jack of spades. Why am I just limping in with ace jack of spades here instead of raising it up to 800 or $1,000? Well, there's a guy in C1 who goes by Paul Gunnis, and he's a very fun player. If you haven't watched any of my videos in the past or Ethan's videos that Paul has made an appearance in, well, Paul's a great guy, and the one thing we like more than Paul is his money. He rips his entire stack in the middle for $8,900. Why? Because this man likes to gamble. I catch the punt, I put in the call, assuming I'm good here, but the flop comes 9-3 deuce with 2 spades. Dream spot for us here with the ace high flush draw. The turn now gives us top pair, and the river comes the 6 of hearts. Paul turns over his cards because he has top pair, but only a 5 of hearts kicker, and that is no good, sir. We're taking down an $18,000 pot here with ace jack of spades. Nicely played by me there. I think, honestly, even if I raise, he would probably 3-bet me and we get it in pre-flop anyways, but I play a little tricky sometimes and just keeping my opponents on their toes. I'm going to go over these next 2 hands very quickly because in the grand scheme of things for this vlog, they just aren't that big. But if you remove these 2 hands and put it in any of my other vlogs, well, they'd probably be the biggest hands of the video. So I feel like it's important to go over. When I look down at ace queen offsuit from the button, I raise it up to 1K and get 3-bet by Jeff the Cash from the small blind to 3.6K. I find the call and flop myself top pair on an ace 10-6 board with 2 diamonds. I have the queen of diamonds in my hand. The action goes check, check, and the turn comes the deuce of spades. On the turn, he checks it over to me once again, and I bet out for 4K, and he folds. So I'm taking out a 7.3K pot. Nice little $3,700 worth of profit in that hand alone. And then in this next one, Ethan makes it $2,200 to go from the big blind, and I call from the cutoff with pocket 5s. The flop comes king 10-9 with 2 diamonds. The action goes check, check on the flop and turn, which comes the 7 of spades, and the river comes the 4 of diamonds. Check, check again, and we end up beating Ethan's ace high. So another 3 grand worth of profit, and that brings us into our next hand of note. All right, we have $38,000 in our stack now, and what do we look down at? Our best friend, King Queen offsuit. King Queen is a double-edged sword because we lost once with it, but then remember we won that massive triple up against Airball and Brittany. Well, we're gonna limp around here for $100. Everyone is in this one, and the flop comes ace king 3.
I'm gonna check for a diamond.
With 3 diamonds out there, it checks over to Ryan, who has a few buttons in front of him. Oh no, he bets out for $300. The cutoff, Jack puts in the call. I find the call as well, and the big blind and under the gun do too. So we're gonna take on this monster of Ryan Feldman and his buttons with 4 defenders. The turn comes a 9 of clubs, and Ryan now fires out for $2,200. My right folds, and I can't fold here with king queen. I don't have a diamond, but Ryan already has 3 buttons. We've paid him $1,000. I don't want to have to pay him another $2,000. I put in the call on the big blind and under the gun fold. So it's just up to me. At least I'm in position on Ryan, but it comes to 7 of clubs on the river, and now he checks. I love this because maybe my pair of kings is good. He's not likely to check an ace in the spot too often because I have to call super light to defend the table and not pay out another $2,000, but I check behind, hoping to win here, only to get shown the goods. Ace, deuce, offsuit. He flopped top pair. Somehow no one had a better hand, and he's going to take in the $6,700 pot and an additional $2,000 from me and everyone at the table. The action's so good in this game. You know where else the action strikes again? Hey, Paul. I don't know what's going on here. We're drinking. We're finally up money. The action's good in this game. You know where else is really good? Club WPT Gold. Use code Wolfgang when you sign up for a bonus. Tons of fish on the online streets. You don't even have to come to the Venetian here and get private access with Ryan Feldman and Rampage and Brittany and Nick Arable and all them. You can just play online for as little as like $10. Link in the description. Use code Wolfgang. Have a great night, you guys. Let's go. All right, if you guys were wondering if Wolfgang has a bag, well, you might see it in this one. I'm in the small blind with King 10 of hearts. The $200 straddle is out there. I make it $1,000 to go, and Paul calls out of the straddle. We're going off to a flop heads up here with Paul, which comes A6 deuce with 2 hearts. I fire out for $1,000 and Paul calls. So I have king high going off to the turn, and king high I still have. No heart, no king, no 10. It's the 7 of spades, and I slow down and check. Paul checks behind, and the river now comes to 10 of clubs. Interesting spot here where now I have some showdown value, so I check it over to Paul once again. I think this is a better line to go for a check call than it is to bet out here and get raised, be in a tough spot, or I just bet and he folds all of his bluffs. I check it over to Paul, and he thinks about it for a little while, but not before betting out for $4,400. The pot size was $4,100 before that. Now there's $8,500 in the middle. I wasn't expecting an overbet, but my plan was to check call here. Hopefully he doesn't have a set, 2 pair, or an ace. And I find the call, and Paul turns over Queen 8 offsuit, and we are taking down a $13,000 pot, and we are rewarded with $6,500 worth of profit. In poker, sometimes one hand can make or break your entire session, and this hand, well, let's just say this hand fits the bill. I'm starting the hand with $26,000, so I'm stuck $7 grand on the session. I look down at ace king offsuit from the cutoff, and jack on my right raises it up to $700. There's some very aggressive players on my left. Jeff the Cash, we have Paul, and of course, Ethan, Rampage Yao. So a 3-bet would make the most amount of sense, but I decide just to call here with 3 aggro players behind me. It's likely someone puts more chips in the middle and reads my $700 just call as a very weak play and tries to squeeze us out of it. Well, that's exactly what happens. Jeff the Cash makes it $3,200 to go. I have $26,000 in my stack. I obviously want to put more chips in the middle, but if I go somewhere around $7,000 to $10,000, I'm only leaving myself with around $15,000 behind. And I don't really love that. I'm putting in a little bit less than half my stack, so I decide just to rip it all in. $26,000 in the middle, and before we even have time to process how big of a shove this is, we realize we are playing a massive $52,900 pot because Jeff the Cash basically snap calls me. Once. Okay. Like we have been the entire night, we decide to go one time. One hand to decide my fate in this session. I'm either stuck $33,000 or I'm up around $20,000 on the session. So I don't turn over my cards and we're going off to a run out. I know I need to hit an ace, a king, or make somehow a straight or a flush. Well, the flop alleviates all of my stress. It comes king 3-3. We're now trying to fade 8% of the deck. 2 nines remaining. The turn comes the king of diamonds. I have a full house, you guys. He has a 0% chance to win. None of his nines matter anymore. In the river comes a 6 of hearts. The dealer counts out my stack, takes it from Jeff's, doubles my stack up, and just like that, you guys, we were stuck for basically the entire session. In for 3 buy-ins, and in one single hand, we undo all of the run bad from the entire session and book a profit. It's 4 in the the morning, we rack up our chips and head over to the cage, cashing out for $53,000, a profit of $20,000 on the session. We lost $10,000 in the main event. We lost $5,130 at the Bellagio, only to win 20 grand on day 3 and book a profit on the 3-day Vegas trip of $4,870. If you guys want crazy action like this, be sure to click the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen right now to play on America and Canada's best online poker site. Use code Wolfgang and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Listen, so we played a lot of poker this week. These games aren't that easy, like everyone here is a good poker player, but what makes these games fun is the people. And that's what makes this an enjoyable week every day, is that you guys are all some of my most favorite people in poker. And I enjoy being around you guys, whether we're playing poker or whether we're going out or whatever we're doing, it doesn't matter. We don't need to be gambling or being against each other to make it fun. It's just fun being around good people all the time. So I appreciate you guys and thank you for being good, enjoyable people. And yeah, toast to that.
Cheers. Cheers, man. Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Can you translate?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.